Good morning, fellow wayfarers. Here's my point for you today as we travel along this life together. There's so many that are overwhelmed by what's going on in our world today and just the difficulties. Maybe the job is gone. Maybe folks that usually help you aren't there anymore because of the seclusion and different isolations that are going on right now to make sure that everybody stays healthy. This morning, I just want to encourage you and bless your souls. Do you remember Psalm 121? We've been talking about it. We preached on it a couple weeks ago. Here is the psalm. The psalmist writes, "My help comes from the Lord." This is that loving covenant relationship, that name that God gave to the nation of Israel, that he was their God and they were his people. We could call him by his name. And so he says, "My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth." The psalmist is being very specific here when he writes that. He wanted to remind the nation of Israel that the God that created this incredible world that we live in and all of its provisions from nothing, that is your God. That is the one whom you covenant with. He is the one who is going to meet your needs and care for your soul. Who is your God? The psalmist tells us he is the eternal, powerful, self-existent, almighty God of the universe who creates everything for us. So when we get in those desperate times and we don't understand what's going on, who's going to be able to meet our needs, where the next paycheck is going to come in, how we're going to make ends meet, let me remind you that Paul picks up on this theme in the book of Philippians in the same chapter that teaches us about peace. He gives us this bookend here. The reason that we can have all kinds of peace is not because God's going to meet our greeds. Well, I want a new boat, or I want to change the color of paint in my apartment, or I need, or we say need, but what we really mean is I want new tires for my car, but the old ones are working fine and they're not down to the bare threads or anything like that. They're working just fine. He's not going to provide our greeds, but he will meet all of our needs. The same God that created the world out of nothing by the power of who he is, his thinking, and his words is the same God who will meet your needs this morning as we come to him and just worship him. The pictures that are on these slides are just that glorious sunset at Webster Lake. Marissa and I took those last summer. And if he can create such a beautiful place for us to rest in him, how much more is he going to create what you need for your soul so that you know and trust him with everything you are? God bless you today.